Hello, and welcome to the official CertComm series. This is the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner Cert course. So the exam number for this certification is CAS 003. And we're going to introduce you to all the areas that the certification exam covers, as well as the structure of the course over the series of the next few modules. These are our objectives for this discussion. We're going to start out with an introduction to SecBay. Then we'll move into the discussion about the target audience for the exam, followed by the instructor intro. We will then look at the CASP exam itself, the prerequisites, the exam details, as well as the individual domains of the exam. And finally, we'll wrap up and provide you some initial cert tips to help you get started. So let's first talk about SecBay. SecBay is a pioneer in biometric and cybersecurity services. It's been around since 2005. It is a global innovator in the IT and certification industry, covering many different areas of emphasis. We're a US-based company, and our clients include multiple government agencies and industry-leading companies. We're also a strong supporter of veteran career initiatives. So let's talk now about the target audience for this exam in this course. So you're an experienced cybersecurity professional and you want to figure out what the best path forward is for training. There's so many certifications out there that it's difficult to know where to go. There's a lot of different options. Should you be taking Microsoft courses, Cisco courses, EC Council, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud? It's a jungle out there. There's so many certifications to choose from. It's very difficult for IT professionals to know which direction to go. So in this course, we're going to give you broad exposure to many different concepts in cybersecurity. So some compare this course to CISSP as far as the topics are concerned. This is almost, you could say, a baby CISSP course, but because of the expansion in recent versions, it's covering a lot more ground. So we think you'll find it very much comparable to what you would see on the CISSP exam. So I'm your instructor for this course. My name is Chris Hefner. I'm a veteran of two branches of the military, the Navy and the Army, and multiple combat tours in Iraq. Additionally, I've worked in government contracts for the Department of the Navy, U.S. Army, and many other projects. I've participated in Red Team exercises with all 50 states, military National Guard, including the FBI, Department of Justice, and industry mission partners. I've managed everything from enterprise security teams, help desks. I've conducted information security accreditation assessments under the DoD DIACAP program, as well as the new Risk Management Framework, or RMF. Here you can see some of the certifications I currently possess. I'm a CompTIA certified trainer, EC Council certified trainer. I'm a Cert First certified trainer, as well as a biocertification certified trainer. In addition to certifications and training, I also have a wealth of hands-on experience that I believe you will see that in this course. So let's talk about the CASP Plus overview. So the CASP Plus certification validates advanced level competency in risk management, enterprise security operations, architecture, research, collaboration, and integration of enterprise security. For the first domain, enterprise security architecture, you'll learn how to integrate network and security components and implement security controls for hosts, mobile, and even small form factor devices. In enterprise security operations, you'll learn how to implement incident response and recovery procedures and conduct security assessments using appropriate tools. In the technical integration of enterprise security, you'll learn how to integrate hosts, storage, networking, and applications into a secure enterprise architecture using a mixture of on-premise, cloud, and virtualization technologies. In the research, development, and collaboration domain, you'll learn to apply research methods to determine industry trends and their impact to the enterprise. And finally, the domain of risk management, where you'll learn how to mitigate risk in an enterprise security architecture. So CompTIA updated the CASP Plus in 2018 to continue to further address the risks and incident response scenarios that are inherent with cyber warfare, including modern hacking techniques and also cloud migrations. Several domains were expanded to include more operational concepts, techniques, and requirements. More emphasis was placed on risk management by performing trend analysis, give the cybersecurity professional the skills needed to work with stakeholders and meet business goals. Additionally, increased security topics including mobile devices and other small form factor devices, system on a chip devices or SoCs, and mobile device management solutions, MDMs, also sometimes called enterprise mobility management. Additionally, a broader coverage of cloud topics and virtualization topics, including security as a service and cloud access security brokers, just to name a couple of the topic areas. Additional topics include implementing cryptographic techniques like blockchain, cryptocurrency, and also mobile device encryption. Now let's talk about some of the exam prerequisites. So CASP Plus CAS 003 certification is a vendor-neutral credential. It's intentionally targeted validation of advanced level security skills and knowledge. The CASP Plus exam will certify the successful candidate has the technical knowledge and skills required to conceptualize, engineer, integrate, and implement secure solutions across complex environments to support a more resilient enterprise, as well as applying critical thinking and judgment across a broad spectrum of security disciplines to propose, implement, and advocate sustainable security solutions that map to organizational strategies, as well as balancing security requirements with business, regulatory requirements, analyzing risk impact, and being able to respond to security incidents. The CASP Plus certification is aimed at IT professionals who have a minimum 10 years experience in IT administration, including at least 5 years of hands-on technical security experience. And there are some recommended prerequisites before taking the CASP Plus, including CompTIA's Network Plus, Security Plus, the CYSA Plus course, or other equivalent experience. Now let's dig in more deeply to some of the exam details. So there are a number of questions on the exam, are 90 questions maximum. What does that mean? That does not mean you will get exactly 90 questions. You may get up to that number, but it may be less. Types of questions will be a mix of multiple choice and performance-based questions. Multiple choice questions will require the student to read the question carefully and select the best answer. Some questions may have multiple answers. As for the performance-based questions, you will have to look at some exhibit or some other reference information, and then you'll have to answer the PBQ. The PBQs will be a mix of drag and drop questions, some matching, and some short answer questions. CompTIA reserves the right to add more questions to the exam without notice, and some of the questions may be beta questions. CompTIA also states on their site that there may be partial credit on their exam. Unlike other exams, this is a pass or fail exam only. There is no scaled score. You will have 165 minutes to do the 90 questions. The recommended strategy is to take the multiple choice questions first and then the PBQ questions second. This way, you ensure that you have enough time for the exam. You will be able to move back and forth between the multiple choice and performance-based questions before you submit your answers. And the recommended experience, as we've already stated, minimum of 10 years experience with 5 years of hands-on. Now let's look at the exam details broken down by domain. You can see here that the 5 domains are broken down into their individual percentages. The risk management domain is 19% of the exam. The security or enterprise security architecture is 25% of the exam. Enterprise security operations at 20% of the exam. Followed by technical integration of enterprise security at 23%, and the research, development, and collaboration at 13%. So even though these percentages vary between the domains, you can't just ignore one domain just because it's weighted lower on the exam score. All of the domains are required, and all of the domains will have objectives and topics that you need to be well versed in to be successful. So these are the topics we're going to cover throughout these modules of the course. We'll start out with a discussion of supporting IT governance and risk management, followed by leveraging collaboration to support security, as well as research and analysis to secure the enterprise. And in many ways, cybersecurity is a continuous process, and you never will stop learning, or you should never stop learning. Then we'll move into integrating advanced authentication and authorization techniques like single sign-on and Kerberos, as well as the things like security assertion markup language, SAML, or SPML, service provisioning markup language. Following that by a discussion of how to implement cryptographic techniques like asymmetric encryption and symmetric encryption. We'll also talk about public key infrastructure, or PKI, many other concepts. Then we'll move into a discussion on implementing security controls for hosts, as well as implementing security controls and best practices for mobile devices. Next, we'll work on implementing network security. We'll cover topics like defense in depth, network firewalls, intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, host-based systems, as well as next-gen firewalls, unified threat monitoring devices, or UTMs, and many others. Followed by that, we'll look at implementing security in the Systems and Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. You may see that term interchangeably with systems and software. We'll also talk about secure coding practices, best practices like continuous integration and continuous delivery, or CI/CD. We'll talk about ways in which you can integrate your asset management into the enterprise security architecture. Following that, we'll discuss how to conduct security assessments like red team, blue team operations, vulnerability assessments, penetration tests, and security audits. And finally, we'll talk about a discussion of incident response and how it relates to business continuity, as well as computer forensics. Though each of these could be a full course on their own, we'll discuss the high points of each topic, and I'll show you some of the tools by which you can do security assessments, as well as incident response and tools you may find useful for penetration testing as well. So what are you going to get from this course? We're going to give you all the knowledge required to pass the exam. We're going to give you all the skills that you can add to your existing cybersecurity capabilities, including real-world, hands-on application of cybersecurity concepts and techniques you can take with you right away and use them in your day-to-day role or position. So these are some additional cert tips and links. You can see links to the CompTIA website, our parent company. We have some links to download a offensive distribution of Linux, Kali Linux. We also have some links for virtualization software to get you started with creating your own hacking lab of sorts. There will be many other tips provided throughout the course when appropriate, so you can have that additional information to take with you. So these are some tips to be successful in the course. You have to read the course material provided. That includes the course text. If you're doing a live class, that's a different story. If you're in the on-demand training, then you'll have to rely on the recordings and also taking good notes. Take lots of notes. Make flashcards. Do lots of practice questions. I can't stress enough how important it is to have repetition for these topics. Some topics you're just going to have to memorize. Things like port numbers, protocols. So flashcards will help you do that, as well as making your own notes. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're able to answer the questions in a timely manner so you can give yourself enough time on the actual exam to be successful. So this concludes our introduction. Covered the intro to the exam. We talked about prerequisites, exam details, the different domains, as well as what we're going to be providing you throughout this course. I wish you great success and luck in this course, and we'll see you in the next module. Thank you.